Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. A Scottish council has created a new post, that of Period Poverty Rights Officer. Now, there can be arguments on both sides as to whether period poverty exists, or even if period products should be provided for free. I think certainly the argument is there that they should be without VAT, without sales tax, as they are a medical sort of requirement. But to say free sort of pushes an envelope, because then if that's a medical requirement and it's free, where do you draw the line? Food is a medical requirement. Should we get that for free as well? That's an argument for another time. The argument here, or not the argument here I suppose, but the main gist of this video, should we say, is that this officer has been appointed. Now, who would you possibly think would be an excellent spokesperson for period poverty? That's right. The best man for the job is a man. So, Fury, a Scottish council, appoints its first ever period poverty rights officer. And it's a man. Jason Grant was appointed as Scotland's first period dignity officer this week. What a wonderful job title. I hope he's proud of it. He will oversee the promotion of the Period Products Act brought in on Monday. The new act states that tampons and sanitary towels must legally be made available by councils and education providers to, and I quote, anyone who need them for free. And I believe that should be anyone who needs them for free, because that's appallingly bad journalism. But what does one expect from the Mail? However, the point is, it's anyone who needs them. It's not women. Just note that. There's been a backlash online over the appointment of a man to the position. Because come on, ladies, who better to ask all about your periods than an expert? And after we all know, men are the experts when it comes to periods. I was being facetious. Anyway, there's been a huge backlash in Scotland after the SNP appointed a man as the country's first ever period dignity officer. Jason Grant was handed the post for the Tay region of Scotland, with duties including promoting access to free sanitary products following the introduction of the Period Products Act. Business owner and fitness coach Mr. Grant, oh I see, so he's a business owner and fitness coach. He's not an expert in periods, he's not an expert in period products, he's not an expert in dealing with any kind of medical issues regarding this. No, he's somebody's mate. He's been backhanded into this job, hasn't he? Let's be honest. This stinks of corruption. Anyway, he believes his gender will help encourage more open discussion on the subject. I can't actually see what his gender has got to do with it. Certainly his sex is an issue, because after all, we're not stupid people who seem to think that sex and gender are the same thing. Sex is male and female, gender is masculine and feminine. And only morons think otherwise. But obviously, Mr. Grant, a fitness coach, and therefore someone who's well versed in periods, would probably get the gist of the difference. Maybe. Anyway, the council has been accused of institutionalised mansplaining. And ladies, that means when a man explains something to you. And peak gender idiocracy by critics. Well, the critics have just about got it right, I think. Mr. Grant, who will also discuss issues around the menopause, because that's something else he's an expert on, said it's about making people aware of the availability of period products for anyone of any gender, whenever they need it. I've got news for you, mister. Only ladies need it. It doesn't matter about their gender. Gender is immaterial. Sex is all that matters, and only women have periods. Please understand that. And if you can't understand that, you have no business fulfilling this role. But I think being a man will help me break down barriers, reduce stigma, and encourage more open discussions. Although affecting women directly, periods are an issue for everyone. Oh, so he actually admits that women are directly affected by periods. Well, that's astounding. We'll also raise awareness of the menopause, which, although a natural process for women, has wider repercussions in the world of work and family. Well, Yeah. Then if you're admitting that it's a female issue, it's a woman issue there, why are you saying above it products for anyone of any gender? Only women. Only women. Their gender is unimportant. You do not need to mention gender. Critics, including tennis legend Martina Navratilova, branded the move ridiculous. Well, she's got that right. She said, have we ever tried to explain to men how to shave or how to take care of their prostate or whatever? This is absurd. Yeah, I mean, I was never shown how to shave by a woman. And to be honest, the old prostate, no, not by a woman. Actress Frances Barber called the appointment weird, adding, I don't know how Scottish women feel about this, but as an English lover of Scotland, I'm fuming. Baroness Fox also criticised the appointment, dubbing it peak gender idiocy. When the Welsh Government Period campaign addressed people who bleed and failed to mention women and girls, we thought it was peak gender idiocy, she said. But oh no, hold my beer, Scottish Government here to ramp up indignity. Yeah, I mean, I remember this with the Welsh. They said they called it, people who are menstruating were people who bleed, not women and girls. Because, again, the cancellation of women, the language all the way through here. He's talking about regardless of your gender, rather than women. Because, hey, girls, you need to be cancelled. Ladies, you need to be cancelled. When this man is trying to address young girls, and let's face it, when he's addressing possibly girls as young as 11, hey, come and talk to me. I'm a man. Let's talk about your bleeding. Firstly, I think it's very, very inappropriate for a grown-ass man to be talking about secretions to a child, to a female child. And secondly, how awful for the child not to speak to someone of their own sex. So uncomfortable, so embarrassing, so undignified. Who made this decision? Because it was wrong. This was a wrong decision. Author Susan Dalgetty added that appointing a man to the position is institutionalised mansplaining. I wonder if he's ever experienced the horror of a blood-stained dress in public or the gut-wrenching fear of a missed period. No, didn't think so, she said. It's about making anyone of any gender aware of period products, he says. I've got news for you. Only females menstruate. Any more questions? PMS, endometriosis. She went on to say, I don't disagree that boys should be taught more about menstruation, but appointing a bloke as the first period dignity officer is institutionalised mansplaining. It's also institutionalised sexism. Why wasn't a woman given that role? SNP leader Ian Blackford told Sky News that the appointment would have been better suited to a woman. Wow, even he said that, and he's a bonkers leftist Marxist SNP moron. I think it's important that we should have offices in place to ensure that women are supported in as much as they should be. And I think it's important we get policy right and that we implement it. And that, as a principle, it would be far better that women are in these posts rather than anyone else. I cannot believe that guy said that. Anyway, that is the piece. It's unbelievable that a man should be appointed to that role. And as I say, can you imagine some young girl sort of having to speak to him about dignity? It beggars belief. I'm coming up now. Now, I've done that with a little bit of humour, obviously. I don't really mean to explain how to mansplain, ladies. Seriously, it was a gag. Don't comment on me. Don't slice me in the comments. It was a joke. But the principles that I'm speaking here are right. No man should have that. I mean, I'm speaking as a man. I'm doing another man out of a job. But no man should have that role. That is specifically a woman's role for a woman's issue that will affect women. And more importantly, will affect young girls. Particularly, I mean, the point of the free sanitary products was particularly in school products, school changing rooms, school toilets, things like that. And I think I don't have a problem with that, because it's the most awful time of your life. That age, you don't have confidence, you don't have sometimes anyone to speak to, things like that. I completely get that, and I completely agree with having having those things in a school setting. There's no issue for that. But to have a man explaining this and have a man say, hey, schoolgirls, let me talk to you about this. How inappropriate that must be. I mean, certainly from a man's point of view, if there was something about, let us say, testicular cancer, prostate, I mean, prostate cancer is a massive problem for men. I would feel it would be more relatable when it was being explained to me that this was coming from a man. And this isn't a sexist statement. It's simply that if I had to sit and explain to someone pain here, difficulty doing that there, talking about erections, I would find it much easier to do this to a male doctor than a female doctor. I would feel a little, perhaps a little embarrassed about it. Now, I'm a grown-ass man, don't get me wrong. I mean, I speak to a doctor about anything, whatever, but there's some issues where I would feel more confident speaking to a male doctor. And I'm sure that this is one of those where any woman would feel far, far more comfortable speaking to a woman. And preferably a woman who's at least medically aware. Not some man whose only expertise is he runs a gym. Who gave him that job? That needs to be questioned, because that stinks of corruption. Anyway, I shall round off there. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please be kind in the comments. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. Look after yourself, seriously. And goodbye.